Hey, what's up guys? This is Church of Caboose, and for today's Destiny 2 video, y'all, I finally managed to accomplish one of my biggest Destiny 2 goals that I've had, and I managed to pull this off last night, and I want to give you guys like a little video, one to, I guess, be like, hey, I did this thing, and then the other to try and maybe give some just sort of I guess advice for things that worked for me while trying to pursue this goal. Now if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, make sure you click the subscribe button, and if you particularly enjoyed the video, I would highly encourage you all to share it. That would do me a huge favor, and that would just really tickle my heartstrings, I guess is the way I would choose to put it. So what did I finally get done? Well, listen and find out.
I'm heavy.
One foe remains. All enemies down.
Yeah.
All lives expended.
Yes.
Total victory.
That's unbroken. Oh my god. That's unbroken. Holy freaking crap. 3 goddamn years. Oh, and that's another legend.
And you spat in
Oh,
you
thank you
fiend.
both from the bottom of my heart. I've been working for 3 years.
So yes, I am now unbroken. I've been working on this thing, like I mentioned during my Twitch stream. I've been working on this title for 3 years. At one point, once I got my Not Forgotten and all that other stuff done, I was like, you know what? I don't know, like I got so much other stuff in Destiny I'm trying to do. Maybe I shouldn't, but I was still kind of sort of semi-try to get Legend, and then I get really heartbreaking and frustrated and I give up. Well, the last 2 seasons, I really buckled down. It's like, let's get this sucker done. And it finally did, and that was the big announcement of what Church has been up to and what I managed to get done. Next up on the list will be to get that flawless Crown of Sorrow raid done and get my Shadow title finished. That's all I'm missing for that. But I wanted to share with you guys some tips. I did learn some things that didn't necessarily make me a better player. It just made me a better teammate and made my experience getting those comp scores not as difficult. Now obviously there are different factors, such as the last couple of seasons there really hasn't been any new PvP loot, and so there perhaps will be either more people playing in the future or less people playing in the future inside of this playlist. And so some things to kind of keep in mind is that population plays a huge factor when you're considering about trying to get these titles and all that goodness. So there could be some differences in your experiences, but I think what I have to share will be relatively universal. So the first thing I would suggest is really focus on not dying. I told my teammates over and over they were vastly better than me. Like my goal was to be they never died and were not, because I took all the lives. My goal was to go always be by one of them, sometimes do some solo stuff, but mostly only do things where I couldn't die, which one of the things that really helped me to not die was to use weapons that required me, as my player style goes, to be more laid back. So I really laid in, locking in with that Revoker. I found oftentimes when I used my preferred loadouts of Mountaintop, I would rush in and usually die more often than was really ideal for having 2 teammates who are really good. And if I used Revoker, it wasn't uncommon for me to get headshots, sometimes get lucky shots, and I definitely had much less deaths. If you were to go through my recent game history, I feel like my KD and KDA is pretty decent, but mostly because I wasn't playing my preferred way. I was just really focusing on not dying. So speaking of teammates, make sure you are playing with a team. Now, if you're like me,
stand upright. Now I can't read it. Oh, not me. I am a giddy goat.
you could maybe get a little ways into the scoring, maybe up to Fabled or a little higher with the solo queue. You could do the freelance option. I found myself being stuck around 3,000 doing the freelance option. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this guideline I have for you all, where people are able to solo queue and get to legend, and those guys are nuts. But if you're like me, try and have 2 teammates, whether you post on my Discord, whether in Church and Friends, or if you were to need a clan and you join our clan, because everyone I played with for the most part was clan mates. And then, or you could do things like My Name's Vive servers and other big content creators Discord servers and just post in there, hey, I need 2 people for comp. I'm trying really hard to get to Legend. I could use some help. From my experience the last 2 seasons, it does seem like there's more people in the community willing to help those get to Legend. Magic, the guy that was in this fire team, happened to have several accounts because I guess he loves Crucible, and they all had Unbroken, so he just had a fun time just trying to help me hit my Unbroken. And then X Myers, while he has had Unbroken for a long time, he was a clanmate of mine, and we did some stuff together, and he was really, really great with trying to help me get Legend, and especially sticking it through for like the last couple of hours on the night where I got Unbroken. So having 2 teammates is really crucial. They don't even necessarily have to be godly, although it does really help if they're better, and I guess can sort of carry. But that kind of leads into the next point. Do not count on being carried. I know it's really hard to get good at Crucible. I know it's really hard to be average at Crucible. I know it's really, really difficult to try and move up and through skills, because if you're like me, you're like, oh my gosh, how is somebody else pointing a gun any more effective than me pointing my gun? And that can be incredibly, incredibly frustrating. I know I find myself all the time just thinking, oh my gosh, how are they pointing and shooting better than I can point and shoot? Like, we're using the exact same gun. So for some gunplay things, just some stuff I try to do. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it or that I do it every single time, but some of the things I try to do is, for example, if I'm using a sniper rifle, I try to always zoom in around where the head should be, or at least the chest, because if I think they might be crouching, I try to do things like really look at radar. I try to make the enemy play towards what I want them to do by trying to create scenarios, and I wish I could think of how I describe how I can do it, other than by trying to anticipate what I think they're going to do and be like, oh, no, I don't want you to do what I want you to do, and trying to like force I'm anticipating their movements to try and make them do what I want them to do. And that's just kind of something I feel like comes with time. So if you're trying to get Unbroken, odds are you'll kind of get an idea more of what I'm talking about as you're playing. I know it sounds really confusing right now, and I'm not the best at explaining it, but there's this Crucible doctor. He does some really good videos about how to get better at Crucible. I would highly suggest you guys check him out. He also has a Discord server, which I used for my Legend last season in Season 10, and I got a lot of help from there. So feel free to check out his channel, because he's got lots of good guides on how to get better at Crucible. So my main takeaways from trying to get Unbroken is it's going to be hard. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to want to pull your hair out. You're going to wish Destiny didn't have PvP. Like, oh my God, D3, please don't have any PvP, or please Beyond Light, don't have any PvP, but it's good for the game. Just got to play, just got to get better. And unfortunately, there are some folks who are going to say, well, I want to have Unbroken, but I'm not going to like play it unless I'm trying to, get the progress, so I guess I just won't get it. Like, no, that's not the attitude to have. Some things you just gotta play to get better at. You don't get better at being a doctor by not practicing being a doctor, right? So you're not gonna get better at Crucible by not playing Crucible. Same thing applies to raids. So just hang in there, guys. I promise you, if I am able to get Unbroken, you guys can do it as well, I swear. It might take a long time, but you can do it. I believe in all of you, and best of luck in that adventure. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know down below if you've got any tips for things. If you're like, hey, I could use fire teams, people to help me out. I mostly play on Xbox. I can't carry people, but I can at least be a teammate, and I can usually help people at least get to 2100 and or 3000, no matter what their skill level is. I can usually do pretty well with that. Anyways, I hope you guys can start talking down below, figure things out, give tips to me, give tips to each other, and just share all the Crucible information there is. Our Reddit, so r/Crucible Playbook is a really good Reddit source to go and ask for tips, tricks, like what kinds of weapons, mods, loadouts, strategies, all that kinds of stuff. Anything related to Crucible, I would use r/Crucible Playbook, because it's a great place to go, and I'll try to remember to have a link to it in the description box down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I am Church of Caboose. I am Unbroken. Have a great week, and happy grinding, y'all.